Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video about ornamentation, how to make a song more interesting. Specifically, I guess there are a lot of techniques that I've discussed in previous videos, and today I decided to do a video just on how to make a song more interesting by playing more than one note at a time. So the idea of playing more than one note at a time, let me play. I'm just going to improvise over some chords. You can play this for a given song as well, like Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. We might do that a bit later. But listen to what it sounds like when I play more than one note at a time. My accordion does have a musette sound. I'm not going to play that just so it's not deceiving what I'm doing versus what the accordion's doing. So I'll play in G minor and go around in a few chords. Probably 90% of the time I'll be using more than one note. I'll be holding down two notes at least. And then I'll show you how to do that. So we'll do a waltz. So somehow that turned into the Game of Thrones theme song. If you want to know those chords, watch the tutorial. It's G minor. Strange that we played the Game of Thrones theme song. But again, instead of playing just one note, I think I did in the second verse, I played multiple notes together. And I find it gives it a much richer sound. You don't have to do it all the time, but it really helps. So what's the idea behind that and how do you do it? So there are a few exercises that you can do to get your fingers used to playing two notes at a time. Usually there's a space of, let's say we play that song in G minor. So first you need to know how to build the G minor chord, which is G, B flat, and D, and then the G again. And play at least two of those notes together. So if it's G minor, I could choose my G and my B flat. Very nice. So I'm going to start a waltz beat in G minor and just hit those two notes, G and B flat. The other two notes I can hit are B flat and D. Yeah, so I could switch between them. That sounds really nice. And in terms of making that pretty, I can play them with patterns. So right now I could do, just solid G and B minor, D. I could also alternate them, so it goes, or double the time. That sounds nice too. I could also break them apart a bit, which means my middle finger is staying on the B flat, and essentially it's going ba, 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 and keeping my finger on the B flat, but hitting the middle, my thumb on the G, lifting, and then the D. I can also make it bounce, so You hear Jan Tiersen, the guy who did the Amelie soundtrack and other accordion music. Right? So that's G and B flat. And then what that looks like is G and B flat and the D, G and B flat and the D. So ba 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 do da 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 da. So how I refer to these, the G and the B flat are the 1 and the 3, because it's the first note and the third note of the G minor chord. And then I have the 1 and the 5, the 1 being the G, the first note, and then the 5 being the D, which is the fifth note. So how I would write that, or how I would say I'm playing that, is 1, 3, and the 5. 1, 3, and the 5, and the 1, 5. And I think that sounds really nice. If I was playing that in a song, what song was that? Game of Thrones theme song. Dun dun da da dun da da dum. How do we transform that to a song? So the song with one note sounds like this. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Hopefully you're watching this and taking away some things. So Game of Thrones theme song. If I was to play that with multiple notes, that was single notes, I could do. And that already adds something to it. So what I'm doing there is, instead of just doing, which is D, G, B flat, C, D, G, I know that the song's in G minor, so I could add the G minor notes to that. The most important thing is to keep the melody the highest, so it's D, G. So I won't have any note higher than D, because then my melody won't shine through. So it's. So when I'm hitting the D for the melody, I'm completing it with a G. And then when I'm B flat's the melody, I can complete it with the D and the G down here. Let's go back to my improvisation example before we got into the Game of Thrones theme example. So again, we looked at. And I could repeat the same thing on the D minor. So again, two notes at the same time, either the 1, 3 or the 1, 5. The D minor is D, F, A. I could play either the 1, 3, which is the D and the F, or the 3 and the 5, which is the F and A, or the 1, 5, which is the D and the A. And any notes in between that sound pleasing. That's 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. That's F and A and D and F and A and D alternating. So ba 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 ba. Or I could do 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. And I could do legato, so connecting the two. Versus staccato. And that's just switching from the D minor to the F there. Something else you can do. Let's say I have two. So I mean, it differs from song to song. The idea is, I guess, to practice enough that your fingers feel comfortable finding those 1, 3, 5s. Let's say it's from D minor to F. and then you can connect the two. And I think connecting the two does add ornamentation and beauty to a song. So if I was to play D minor to an F, right? How can I connect these two? So the ba 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 or ba ba ba, those are really nice, and we usually find them when there are differences, like from the F to the D minor. And what does that mean, the differences? So this is a D minor, D, F, A, and this is an F major, which is a F, A, C, but I can play it as a C, F, A. Right, this is the 1, 3, 5 of the D minor. This is the 5, 1, 3 of the F major. So how do I connect the two? It looks better visually. I'm going to step a bit closer. Actually, that'll be out of focus. So I guess maximize your window. That's how I connect the D minor to the F major, just by going. So I'm always keeping a space of one note between them. So F, D, F, E, G, F, A, G, B flat, A, C. And why am I keeping a space of one? You'll see that if you just play the D minor to F, anything you play with a space of one, like I just did, sounds really nice. Yeah. There, so that doesn't sound great, and you know, you could say, yeah, and so it's just experimentation. I think after a while you realize, aha, that note really doesn't fit in when I play an F to D minor. But again, that space of one sounds beautiful. You can also experiment with other spaces. So, you know, choose a 1 and 3 or a 1 and 5. Let's do the 1 and 5. And let's see what it sounds like over the D minor. The 1 and 5 being the D and the A. Yeah, that sounds nice, which is the F and the D, G, E, and A, F. And that really does sound nice over the D minor. So essentially I'm keeping this distance. Again, I hit that B, so I should be careful not to. Back to the 1, 3, the space of 1. And then switch to single notes. Back to double. It's 5. So yeah, so I think that makes sense. There's lots of other ornaments happening there when we do single notes. But otherwise, I'm just sticking to the 1, 3 of the D minor, or the 1, 5, and moving up and down. Those and and alternating their rhythm, their speed. I think in one of my videos, the right-hand waltz technique, I show a few patterns. There's so many patterns. My suggestion is to sit, either record yourself, loop that at a tempo that you're comfortable with, and then practice over it or it doesn't have to be a melody yet. Your fingers practicing those techniques means that when you want to play the Game of Thrones theme song, you'll be like, aha, I know those chords, D minor to F. I can ornament the song where there's spaces. Or Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. We find those chords in the song a lot. Even though it's not D minor to F, it's A minor to C, which is the exact same difference. D minor to F to D minor is, you know, and C to A minor is the exact same space. 1, 2, 3. So if you were to play Hallelujah, you could see that it's so that ba 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 is the same kind of movement we had between the D minor and the F to D minor, right? All this to say that practicing these techniques slowly without actually playing a song will really help your playing, will make it shine. It also means that when you improvise, if you play by yourself or with someone else, you have an arsenal of not tricks, you have a language that you can play. It's like being asked to improvise with language. You know all the letters, but how do you arrange them in a beautiful way? Through practice, through just sitting around and just through moving the fingers through those spaces of 1, 3 and 1, 5. There are lots in between, but practice those for now, and your songs will sound really, really nice. A really nice song, Charlotte mit Nacht. I think the song's called the Vochka or backwards. The group's called the Vochka, and the song's called Charlotte mit Nacht. And that's the song that goes. And you'll see a lot of these 1/5s and a lot of those 1/3s. It's one of my older videos, really beautiful song, and a really nice song to practice those 1/3s and the 1/5s. Not difficult and such a showpiece. Whenever I play outside in the farmer's market, it's usually a song that I start with just to get into that flow of my fingers warming up and getting into a nice waltz rhythm. I hope that helps. Again, ornament songs using those techniques. It's always nice, not always nice, it's usually nice to hear an additional note in addition to the melody. Instead of just playing, that sounds nice, but yeah, that's welcome as well. I hope that helps. Please let me know if you have any questions about that or if you need any techniques to practice with. I'm happy to share them. Thank you.